If you have ever wondered why decisions in Nigeria often feel rigid, top-down, and disconnected from everyday life, you are not imagining things. Long after the soldiers left the stage, the thinking they normalized never really left, and understanding that may explain more about Nigeria today than any headline you've read this week. Here's why this matters right now. Nigeria is not under military rule. Yet, many institutions still operate as if obedience is more important than understanding, as if control matters more than consent. This affects how policies are made, how laws are enforced, how workplaces function, and even how ordinary citizens relate to authority. The question is not whether democracy returned, it did. The deeper question is whether democratic thinking fully replaced military thinking. We'll come back to that. Beneath the surface, what you are seeing is not nostalgia for uniforms or boots. It is a mindset shaped by decades where command and control was rewarded, questioning was punished, and efficiency was defined as silence and compliance. Military regimes trained an entire generation of leaders, civil servants, politicians, administrators, to believe that power works best when it flows in one direction. Orders go down, loyalty goes up, feedback is optional. That way of thinking does not disappear just because elections return. It gets absorbed into institutions. It becomes culture. Meetings become briefings, policies become directives, citizens become subjects, and disagreement becomes insubordination rather than participation. You can see this in everyday life. When rules are announced without explanation, when sudden bans or changes are rolled out with no transition period, when officials feel insulted by questions instead of seeing them as part of governance, when the instinct is to enforce first and explain later. These are not isolated habits, they are patterns. Many people misunderstand this and assume the problem is simply bad leaders or corruption. Those are real issues, but they sit on top of something deeper. A system trained to value order over outcomes will often look decisive while producing poor results. A system trained to suppress dissent will struggle to innovate. A system that equates authority with correctness will rarely admit mistakes. This affects ordinary people more than they realize. It shapes how police interact with civilians. It shapes how public offices treat citizens seeking basic services. It shapes workplaces where bosses expect obedience rather than initiative. It even shapes family and community structures where questioning elders or leaders is seen as disrespect, not dialogue. There's another misunderstanding worth addressing. Some people believe this mindset is necessary because Nigeria is too chaotic for soft approaches. But strong systems are not built on fear. They are built on trust, clarity, and accountability. Countries that function well do not rely on intimidation. They rely on predictability. People follow rules more willingly when they understand them and see them applied fairly. Halfway through this conversation, it's worth reframing why staying with this topic matters to you personally. This is not just political theory. If you understand how military thinking operates in civilian spaces, you can stop taking certain frustrations personally. You begin to see patterns instead of feeling powerless. And once you see patterns, you can make better choices about where you work, how you engage institutions, and what kind of leadership you support or avoid. So what can you actually do with this knowledge? First, position yourself better by learning to communicate clearly and calmly in rigid systems. In environments shaped by command culture, emotion often backfires. Clarity works better. Document things, ask precise questions, reduce room for arbitrary decisions. Second, be better informed by separating authority from competence. Just because someone holds power does not mean they are right. Learn the rules, policies, and processes that govern you. Knowledge is one of the few things that quietly balances power. Third, make smarter decisions by recognizing environments that punish initiative. If a workplace or institution consistently discourages questions and transparency, do not expect it to reward creativity later. Adjust your expectations or your exit strategy accordingly. At a broader level, support leadership that explains, listens, and adapts. Democracy is not just about voting, it is about habits. Leaders who welcome feedback are not weak, they are modern. Institutions that explain decisions are not indecisive, they are accountable. As we wrap this up, Here are the key insights to take with you. Nigeria's challenge is not that democracy failed to return. It's that democratic habits did not fully replace military ones. Control still feels safer than conversation, authority still feels more important than outcomes. And until that shifts, many frustrations will keep repeating under different names. The steady takeaway is this: once you understand the mindset shaping systems, you stop being confused by them. You become more strategic, more patient, and more intentional. And that alone puts you ahead of the noise. If you value calm, practical conversations that help you understand how power, systems, and everyday life intersect, consider subscribing to the channel. There are more videos here that connect the dots without shouting or simplifying complex realities. And if this topic resonated with you, watch the related videos on governance, leadership culture, and decision-making. They build on this conversation in useful ways. Understanding doesn't solve everything, but it gives you something just as important: control over how you respond.